podcast where truth moves faster than a Holstein calf. No waiting on some pretty page. We're charting new ground in the digital age. From genomic codes to robot facts, we cut through the noise, no holding back. Not your daddy's dairy news tonight. We're sparking debates with every insight. The ring's not where the real fight's at. It's in the data, in the channel chat. From pasture to processor to your morning cup, we're raising the stakes. Try and get ahead of herd. Yeah! Where the future's more than just a word. Ahead of herd. Come on! The Bullvine's calling, let your voice be heard.
Welcome to the Bullvine podcast, your go-to spot for bold, no-nonsense insights on the dairy industry. Today, we're diving into a hot topic impacting dairy farmers everywhere, the growing automation gap and what it means for the future of your farm's productivity and profitability. Stay with us as we unpack the challenges, trends, and real-world strategies that can help you compete and thrive in today's rapidly evolving livestock landscape. So grab your coffee, find a comfortable seat, and let's get after it.
Welcome back to the Bullvine podcast, the show that digs deep into the topics that matter to dairy producers.
That's right. Today, we're tackling a really interesting feature article from the Bullvine that's got everyone talking. We're going to break it all down.
And it's a crucial one, focusing on automation. The article kicks off with this really vivid image.
It really does. Picture this.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 a.m., you're heading out to milk, right? And you look over at your neighbor's poultry barns.
Yeah.
Completely silent at 5 a.m., just quiet. But inside, 25,000 birds are being handled automatically, fed, watered, climate control, everything, while the farmer might still be asleep.
Wow. That really hammers home the point, doesn't it? The core competitive disadvantage for traditional dairy right now because of labor.
Absolutely. The article lays out the numbers pretty starkly. Dairy folks are spending, 20 to 30% of their production budget just on labor?
Yeah, a huge chunk.
Now, compare that. Those automated broiler houses, it's like 1.6 to 2.4%. Tiny fraction.
And even pig farming is lower, around 9%, I think it said.
Exactly. It's not just a gap. It's a chasm.
And that translates into real dollars. For a £1 million operation, the article estimates upwards of $150,000 a year disadvantage.
Right off the top. And that's before you even think about the sheer headache of finding reliable workers, especially for, holidays or weekends.
Oh, yeah. It's relentless. So when you see those numbers, it makes sense why this gap is seen as, potentially redefining the industry.
For sure. And this leads right into the automation data in dairy itself. There's some interesting Cornell research mentioned.
Right. The farms that have adopted automation, they're seeing significant cuts in labor costs, over 21% on average.
And some are getting close to 29% savings. Huge numbers.
But here's the weird part, the kicker, right?
Yeah.
Only about 5% of U.S. dairies are actually using robotic milking systems. It feels like a mismatch.
It really does. But get this, that tiny 5%, they're producing something like 45% of the nation's milk.
45% from just 5% of the farms.
Yeah. That tells you just how incredibly impactful this technology is, even with low adoption rates so far.
So connecting those dots, this labor automation gap, it's not just some side issue. It seems like it's the main thing driving consolidation.
I think the article makes a strong case for that. And it's not happening slowly either. It says the pace is accelerating faster than maybe people realize.
It's shifting from if to when for a lot of farms, it sounds like.
Yeah, definitely. So how did other sectors handle this, like poultry or swine? Did they face similar pressures?
Well, they found their own paths, kind of driven by different things. Poultry's interesting.
How so?
The big players, Tyson, Purdue, they basically told their contract growers, you will use this specific equipment.
They mandated it.
Pretty much. And just like that, boom, a $2 billion North American automation market was born. They guaranteed the demand.
And the result?
Modern broiler house. 25,000 birds, less than one full-time employee needed per house. Just incredible efficiency.
Wow. Okay, so that was integrator driven. What about swine? What pushed them?
For swine, it was more about animal welfare pressure. Things like California's Prop 12, rules in the EU, pushing away from gestation stalls.
Right. Group housing.
Exactly. Which led to the rise of electronic sow feeders, ESF systems, RFID tags, individual feeding in a group setting.
Clever tech. And that market's growing.
Big time. The article projects it'll double from about $1.3 billion now to nearly $2.7 billion by 2032. That's a serious trend. And it works in practice, too. There's a case study, right? An international swine operation.
Yeah, cut their workforce from 25 people down to 10.
While increasing output.
Yep. Went from 25 weaned piglets per sow per year up to 28. So fewer people, more production. That's the automation promise, really.
So, okay, poultry and swine found ways. Why is dairy struggling so much more with the labor side? Why can't we just copy them?
Well, dairy has some unique hurdles. First off, the workforce is getting older. USDA data shows foreign-born farm workers' average age climbed quite a bit between 2006 and 2022.
And that's a big deal because
Immigrant workers are absolutely crucial. They make up over half, 51% of the labor on U.S. dairy farms.
wow, half.
And they produce nearly 80% of the milk. Some experts think the dependency is even higher, maybe 60%?
80% of the milk comes from farms relying on immigrant labor. That's staggering.
It is. And then you hit the regulatory wall, the H-2A visa program.
The one for farm labor.
Yeah, but it's designed by law for temporary or seasonal work. Think harvesting crops.
But dairy isn't seasonal. You need milkers every single day, 365 days a year.
Exactly. So the program is basically useless for dairy's year-round needs. It puts farmers in a bind that, say, crop farmers don't face in the same way.
An impossible position, really.
And what happens when you have high demand and restricted supply of labor?
Wages go up, way up.
Bingo. The article mentions $22 an hour in California's Central Valley. Wisconsin seeing $18, maybe $20, especially if you need reliable weekend help.
At those wage rates, suddenly the cost of robots doesn't look so bad.
Precisely. The payback period just collapses. Down to maybe 3 or 4 years in some cases, it becomes almost a no-brainer financially.
But it's getting even worse than just cost, isn't it?
Yeah, the article notes some farms in the Central Valley have had help wanted signs up for 8 months straight.
8 months.
And they just can't find people at any price.
Yeah.
It's not about affording labor anymore. It's about finding it at all.
That's a crisis.
It really is. And it plays out differently depending on where you are. You know, California squeezing smaller dairies, Wisconsin's family labor tradition changing, Idaho building new and automated, Texas kind of a mix, the Northeast adopting fast because costs are so high. It's complex.
So labor savings are the obvious push. But the article argues there's a lot more to it, right? The benefits go beyond just cutting staff.
Oh, absolutely. That Cornell research,
Yeah.
yes, 29% labor cost reduction is great. But the article calls that just the entry fee.
Okay, so what's the bonus?
Milk production, for one, big one. 58% of farms that put in automated milking systems, AMS, report higher production.
Higher. How much?
Typically 5 to 10% more milk. It's because cows can choose to be milked more often, especially fresh cows, maybe 3 times a day or more, voluntarily.
Instead of just twice a day in a conventional setup.
Exactly. Every extra trip to the robot is more potential yield.
Let's put numbers on that. A 500 cow herd, say, averaging 70 pounds a day, a 7% increase.
Okay, 70 pounds times 500 cows is 35,000 pounds. 7% of that is 2,450 extra pounds per day.
Wow. 2,450 pounds daily. What's that worth? At, say, $22 per hundredweight underbrute.
Let's see, 24.5 hundredweight times $22. That's about $539 extra every single day.
$539 a day annually.
For over $196,000 a year.
Just from the milk increase, that alone could justify the robot investment for many.
Easily. And that's before you even look at feed efficiency.
Right, the automated feeding systems, TMR consistency.
Exactly. Robots mix it the same way every time. Humans, well, not always. Plus, they reduce waste significantly. The article mentioned 1,000 cow operations saving maybe $50,000 a year just from better mixing and less feed refusal.
$50,000 is not small change.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And then there's the health side. This part's really fascinating.
The sensors, monitoring mastitis, lameness.
Yeah. Those systems apparently have the fastest ROI of almost any dairy tech. Payback in just over 2 years, like 2.1 years on average.
By catching problems earlier.
Precisely. Catching one mastitis case early saves you, what, $300 to $500? Spotting lameness before it gets bad can save over $1,000 per cow, considering treatment, lost milk, replacement costs.
So it shifts you from reacting to problems to proactively managing health.
Totally. You're ahead of the curve.
You know, it's not just the business metrics, though. That quote from the Wisconsin farmer really stuck with me.
It's fun about his son's football games.
Yeah. Saying the robots weren't just about saving labor, but about finally being able to go watch his kid play on a Friday night, that quality of life aspect.
It's huge, often overlooked, But maybe the most valuable benefit for many people,
Yeah.
making the whole lifestyle sustainable, right?
Yeah.
That freedom.
Yeah,
It's priceless sometimes.
definitely. But, okay, the tech is powerful, but the article stresses it's not magic. Management is the key ingredient.
Absolutely critical. And the data backs this up strongly. There's this huge performance gap between AMS farms.
How big a gap?
The top 25% get around 4,200 pounds of milk per robot per day.
Right.
The bottom 25%, only 2,900 pounds.
Wow, that's over 40% difference with the same machines.
42% difference, yeah. Same hardware, vastly different results. It proves automation is an amplifier.
It amplifies good management, but it also amplifies poor management.
Exactly. If your underlying systems or management practices are weak, the robots won't fix that. They might even make things worse or just be incredibly inefficient.
So what are the top performers doing differently? What's their secret sauce?
It's not really a secret, just good discipline. They live by the data-checking robot metrics daily. They obsess over cow flow. A bad barn layout kills robot efficiency.
Makes sense. Cows have to get there easily.
Right. They stick to preventive maintenance schedules religiously. And crucially, they train everyone, not just the herd manager, but all staff who interact with the system.
That's a big one. Often missed, I bet.
They're always looking to tweak and improve, continuous improvement. The bottom performers, the article kind of implies they just install it and hope for the best.
Install and hope isn't much of a strategy.
Not for getting the most out of a major investment, no.
Okay, so this all paints a picture of, well, the article calls it a great divide in the industry, which brings us to the future outlook and how farms can actually navigate this.
Yeah, that divide is stark. Remember the numbers. Only 13% of farms use computerized milking, but they account for 45% of the milk.
And the only farm size category actually growing is the really big ones, 2,500 cows plus.
Those leaders are hitting incredible efficiency numbers, like 120 cows per full-time employee, double the industry average.
Double. But what about the mid-size guys? The 100 to, say, 500 cow dairies. The article sounds pretty grim for them.
It calls it an existential squeeze. They're often too small for the huge AMS setups, but too big now for just family labor. Census data show they took a big hit recently.
So is it hopeless for them? Or are there strategies?
No, not hopeless, but they need to be smart. There's a great example in the article of 500-cow Wisconsin farm.
What did they do?
Invested about $380,000 in 2 AMS units and automated feed pushers. Saved $85,000 a year by cutting 3.250Es.
Yeah.
Pay back in about 4.5 years.
Okay, so it is possible. The lesson seems to be start smart, don't try to do everything at once.
Exactly. Target your biggest pain point first. Maybe it's labor for milking, maybe it's feed consistency.
So if someone listening is trying to figure out where to start, does the article offer a kind of roadmap, a decision tree?
Yeah, it lays out some practical steps based on size. For smaller herds, 150, 300 cows. Maybe start with automated ID and health monitoring.
Lower cost entry point.
Right, like 25K to 40K. Good ROI, gets you used to managing with data. For 300, 600 cows, maybe look at partial stuff first. Feed pushers, sort gates, then plan for AMS when you expand or build new.
And the bigger guys, over 600.
They're likely already deep into considering full automation. Their focus should be more on integration, getting all the systems talking to each other efficiently.
And the number one rule for new construction.
Design for automation from the get-go. Retrofitting an old barn is always way more expensive, maybe 40% more, and usually less effective.
Okay, good advice. Looking ahead, what's coming down the pipe? Stuff that's not just science fiction anymore.
Well, the robot market itself is exploding, going from about $3.4 billion now to over $6 billion by 2029. That's huge growth, over 15% a year.
That momentum means costs should come down, expertise should spread.
Exactly. But it also means the clock is ticking. The article throws out a pretty stark warning: delaying past 2028, you risk permanent lockout.
Permanent lockout from competitive markets, that sounds final.
It implies that the efficiency gap will become so large, it'll be almost impossible to catch up or compete on price if you haven't made the leap. It could force consolidation or exits.
So beyond milking robots, what else is emerging?
AI for health prediction is getting really good. Predicting mastitis maybe 48, 72 hours before symptoms show with high accuracy. Robotic calf feeders showing better weaning weights. Drones for checking herds. Even voice-activated farm management.
Voice-activated, like asking Alexa about your somatic cell count.
Kind of. The point is, these tools amplify the manager's judgment. They don't replace it. They give you better information, faster.
Okay, this is a lot to take in. It can feel overwhelming. Does the article suggest a way to just get started, like a 90-day plan?
Yeah, it breaks it down nicely. First 30 days, Assess. Really track your time, your costs. Calculate that labor cost per hundredweight. And crucially, go visit other automated farms like yours. See it in action. Get real ROI projections based on your farm.
Okay, month 1, homework and visits. Month 2.
Decision time. Secure your financing. Pick your technology partner and focus on service and support, not just the cheapest sticker price. And start management training, focusing on how to use the data. Prep for launch. Finalize the install timeline. Prepare your staff for the changes. This is critical and often rushed. And set your baseline metrics so you can track progress once it's running.
Good practical steps. What about pitfalls? What are the common mistakes people make?
Number 1, underestimating the learning curve. It takes time, maybe 6 to 12 months, to really dial in a new system. Don't expect perfection on day 1.
Okay, patience is key. What else?
Skimping on training. Everyone needs to understand the system. Choosing a vendor just on price, ignoring service needs later, trying to shoehorn tech into a facility that just isn't right for it.
Facility compromises.
Yeah. And maybe the biggest mistake, expecting the technology to magically fix underlying management problems. It won't. It'll just automate your existing problems if you're not careful.
Right. It amplifies what's already there, good or bad. Okay, after digging through all of this, if you had to boil it down, what's the single most critical takeaway for a farmer listening right now?
I'd say really calculate your current labor cost per hundredweight. The article suggests if it's over $4, automation likely pays for itself in 3-4 years based on labor savings alone. That's a concrete number to start with. Know your number.
Know your number, that's clear.
And remember, the other benefits stack on top of that. The health sensor ROI is incredibly fast, just over 2 years, saving hundreds or thousands per case prevented. Maybe start there if full robots feel too big initially.
Good point. Start small, build confidence. What about feed?
Feed savings add up fast, especially on larger farms. $50,000 plus a year isn't unusual for a 1,000 cow herd, just from better TMR consistency and less waste. Even feed pushers have a quick payback, around 2 years.
And milk bump.
That 5-10% production increase is real for most AMS adopters. For that 500 cow example, it was nearly $200,000 a year extra revenue. That alone can carry the investment.
So the final thought on timing. Why now?
Because that competitive gap is widening every day. Waiting too long, especially past that suggested 2028 timeframe, genuinely risks being left behind. And if you're building new, design for automation now. Don't pay 40% more to retrofit later. The future's automated, and it's arriving faster than we thought.
Great insights. And that's all the time we have for today's deep dive into this crucial article. For more articles and insights, be sure to visit www.thebullvine.com.
Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening. And maybe think about this. As the industry shifts, success won't just be about efficiency, but about building a farm and a lifestyle that works for the next generation too. What will your future farm look like?
Thanks for listening to the Bullvine Podcast. If you found today's episode valuable, be sure to subscribe and share it with your dairy community. For more actionable insights to keep your farm ahead of the curve, visit us anytime at www.thebullvine.com. Until next time, keep striving, keep innovating, and keep leading the way in dairy farming.